What's up, everybody, and welcome to Life Math, a place where you can use mathematics in real-life situations and real-life instances. Unlike in your college algebra class or your calculus class, this stuff will actually apply to your everyday existence without a degree. I got for you our first equation. We want to keep it simple on this channel at first because we don't know who our demographic is going to be. But it should be told that all of these problems have been proven by life engineers and life physicists. Also, there were a couple of life biologists involved. So just keep that in mind as we go through here. All of the numbers crunched is just data. There is no prejudice, bias, or anything going on in here. Data is data. So without further ado, I know this problem looks kind of long, but trust me, it is very, very simple to understand. We just need to understand the components, so don't wet yourself yet, you little pieces of shit. We're going to discuss this problem, which incidentally is about problems. P is equal to problems in your life, not Frank's life, not Jimmy's life, your life. And now we're going to brush up on so you can get a feel for the constant. See that thing at the very beginning, the plus sign with the little head on top? Yeah, that we're going to denote that as cross. And cross is called the life constant. Or, I think his name was Gregor's constant. Discovered about 8 months ago through various calculations, and the proof is like 20 pages long, but it all comes out to be 7.56 p, and p is problems. Next we got our dollar sign. That's another constant, and if you don't know what a constant is, I might make a video about what constants are, but probably not. So this is the financial constant, or the Finn constant, because it was discovered by Sir Robert Finn, and it is 5.6p. Now we move on to the very important part. These are the variables. F is equal to friends, as in the number of friends you have, and this can span from 0 to, let me see, where is it? F to infinite. Okay, and then so you can have either 0 or infinite friends, and this problem will work for you. You might have to do some calculus, you might have to do some limits, but it will work for infinite friends. If you are Instagram or Twitter famous, this will work for you too. Now, continuing on, we got our J, and J stands for job or career, but we're going to keep it job to keep it simple. And normally, when we calculated people, they usually had either 0 to 2 jobs. And so it can work for 3 or 4, but this is just the area in which we studied. So going down to the final thing, and this is, as you can tell for this problem, it is the most important part for at least 2 of these individual equations, because you can break them up here at the plus signs if you need be. And that is B, beta, and it stands for bitches, or hoes, or GF, let me see, what else do they call them these days, bae, and just women in general. That's what beta stands for. And just take a minute to absorb all of this. I know this is some new kind of mathematics for you. You might have never experienced anything this real before, and that's okay, because we're going to continue on, and I'm going to give you 2 examples just to show you a small portion of this problem right here, and how certain things can lead to exponential growth and some things can equal to 0. So without further ado, let's continue on to the problems. Okay guys, we are here at the problems, and let me go ahead and read this to you. Wallaby has graduated college with 1 job, 0 bitches, and 7 friends. How many problems will Wallaby have? Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward problem, and these are always the problems you're going to encounter with this stuff. You're going to be presented with 3 variables, and usually they'll all be given. So you got yourself, he graduated with 1 job, so J is equal to 1. He has 0 bitches, so beta is going to be equal to 0. And then he has 7 friends. How he managed to keep 7 friends in college is beyond me, but he has 7 friends, so F equals 7. Now, with all this being said, we can go ahead and plug it all into the equation. And I'm going to use the original constant numbers, 7.56 and 5.6 here. Sorry. And we're going to go and plug everything in. So if you want to solve this problem with me, just get out a sheet of paper, and you'll probably do it faster than me because I'm having to do it with the mouse. But we'll go. You'll probably solve it before I do because it's quite simple, actually. 7 plus 0. And then we got ourselves the second part of the problem. Like I said, with that, I don't know if I've said this yet, but this can be divided up into 3 separate problems if you want to. The P just is total problems. You can also denote it as delta P if you're into life physics. But just for standard mathematics in life math, you don't need to do that. Any test you'll take, it'll just be denoted as P, and you'll be given the 3 variables. So 7 plus, and then we got ourselves 1 times 0 to the 7th. Okay, guys. Oh, it's supposed to be a 7. Alright. Well, guys, if you got this, then you've gotten it right gotten it right so far. And now it's time to do the actual arithmetic. And so I'm just going to go ahead and write P equals, and then we got ourselves 7.56 times 0 to the 7th. And anything times 0 is 0, and anything that's above in the exponent of the 0 is 0. So we got ourselves 0 in this first part of the equation. 1 minus 1 is 1, and 5.6 equals 0, because anything times 0 is 0, and anything that's in the exponent of the 0 is 0. You see a pattern here. Okay, and then for this last one, it's the exact same thing, and it will give us 0. And so total problems that Wallaby will have after he has graduated college will be 0. Now, I hope that this problem was helpful enough for you to understand how the equation works algebraically. So we're going to move on to the second example. Okay, guys, we are at the second example, and I'm going to read it to you. Thomas graduated from college and was able to obtain 1 job while keeping his high school sweetheart and 3 friends. How much problems will Thomas has? Okay, so first we need to outline our variables. This is a textbook question that you can be asked on an exam, and it is, so we know that we see obviously that J equals 1, and we see that F is equal to 3. Now, don't be deceived. They might throw this kind of stuff in here, but you need to be sharpen your senses in being able to sense in a problem where a bitch is. So, even though it's high school sweetheart, that's still a bitch. So, bitch equals 1. Plugging all this into the equation, we can go ahead and say, you can solve this one with me as well. 7.56 times 1, because we got 1 bitch this time, and we got 3 friends instead of 7. That usually happens when you graduate with your high school sweetheart, plus 1, because we always have to consider the bitch to be a friend as well. So that's why we add that. That's why it's plus B, just for a little proof for you guys. I might do a proof on this equation in another video, but it might be a while. Let's see. And then we got the constant we got Finn's constant, time 1 minus 1 to the 3rd, and that's called the financial section, or Finn's equation. This is Gregor's equation, and this is Finn's equation, and this is kind of a combination of the two. Life physicists just figured this one out. I don't know who did it yet, but we'll figure it out as we get there. So JB 1 times 1, sorry for the bad writing, and then 3. But it shouldn't matter. Alright, so here we go. We got P. Hopefully you got this far. And if we go ahead and just type this into our calculators, we got 7.56 times 1, which is 7.56 to the 4th. And we should get 3,200 and 67. Sorry for butchering that. Let me just go ahead and rewrite it real quick. Writing with this key, this mouse is quite agitating. All right, we got 2, 6, 7. There we go. P. So that's the first thing. It should always be noted that you round up your problems. You don't round down your problems, and you never have half a problem. It's always a full problem. So we know that 0 This will equal 0 to the third equals 0 times 5.6 equals 0. So this maintains as 0. This really doesn't get affected unless you do not have a job. And we'll get into that later. So we got 1 times 1 to the third, which just equals 1, because 1 to the anything is 1. And so if we sum all this up, we will get 3,268 problems. Now, I don't know about you guys, but let's go ahead and look at the math here. Whenever Wallaby had 0 bitches, so beta equals 0, he had 0 problems. Whilst whenever Thomas here, the poor sap, he had 1 bitch, which he denoted as his high school sweetheart, he had a shit ton of problems later on in life. And like I said, this has been calculated with life engineers, and this is a relative prediction right here. So, with all this being said, I hope that this video helped you, and you can find, we've already discovered with this equation by just doing this, that there is an exponential relationship between the number of bitches you have and the number of problems you have. And it gets relatively big quite quick. So, I hope this helped you guys with your life, and I hope you can apply it to situations while you're at university or at high school, whatever education level you are at, you should be able to apply this perfectly. Now, remember to rate the video, comment, and subscribe, and I just want to throw in at the very end that this was for a male demographic only. Our team at the lab in the United States are working on the female demographic and the feminist demographic for their equations. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and if you have any arguments against it, I just have to say that your opinion is incorrect, and I will see you guys later.